Bless.
Edition of the assignment program. Thank you for joining us. Many people have been sending word desiring to watch this episode and others coming up for Sunday and Monday, to which details we'll be able to share a little later. The past few days have further continued to expose different activities that have been taking place in the political space as extended to the court realms. Not to say there is a definite interaction, but then key players who have been pivotal in the activities of court sessions have been political leaders. And now standing prime in the moment of today and having now been offered what is the now latest popular word or terminology in Zambia, Nolle prosequi or prosequi, or whichever the pronunciation you dictate. President for Economic and Equity Party, Chilufya Tayali, is with us in the studio, and he has been facing a case in court for defaming the Inspector General of Police, Kakoma Kanganja. He's here now in the studio to speak with us. Mr. Tayali, welcome.
Thank you very, very much, Master, to invite me to Muvi TV. You know, I always appreciate the private media because it's only this platform where we can come and express ourselves freely. You know, I was happy to see even my brother Chishimba running to Muvi TV after denying us an opportunity of being at ZNBC. The moment he was kicked out, he rushed here. So you people, Muvi TV, you are a savior, you are the voice for the Zambian people, and we thank you very much.
We're grateful on behalf of the institution. Thank you very much for those sentiments, Mr. Tayali. You speak of freedom. Are you really free? I mean, the Nolle prosequi has got all sorts of issues, and I know we'll delve into the issues of what led to where you are. Just, you know, a quick feeling. Are you free right now?
Unfortunately, not quite. Not quite. In terms of the legal, from the legal point of view.
Right.
Because you see, and let me just quickly take an opportunity to clarify about this Nolle prosequi. You know, there are two types of Nolles. I mean, many people may not understand that, but there are two types. There are two Nolles. One is under the CPC, which is the Criminal Procedure Code, under Section 81. So this Nolle prosequi, which is under Section 81 of the CPC, is one whereby when it is given to a suspect, okay, this person is free at that moment, but the police can go back and arrest this person on the same charge and bring him back to court. So this is the one that is under Section 81 of the CPC. Which
therefore then it means that once somebody has been released on that specific kind of Nolle prosequi, it means that you are actually not necessarily free.
No.
The case is pending.
You have the case dangling around your neck.
Right.
You know, you have a case dangling around your neck, and anytime they can come and re-arrest you and prosecute you on the same case.
Right.
And this is the Nolle that I was given today.
Okay, so this is the one that you have, which means you are bound to be rearrested at any point.
I can be rearrested.
Okay,
I can be rearrested. So I'm answering your question to say, am I free? Clearly, from that point, from that legal point of view, I am not. But this is different from what my brother HH was given, the leader of the UPND. He was given a Nolle under Article 180 of the Constitution. Right. Under Article 180, sub-Article 7, this is like a discharge. But since the DPP cannot acquit, the only people that can acquit is the judge. But it's the DPP who is saying there is no case here, really. There is no case. So we can't go on. And so let's just stop this. And she will invoke Article 180, sub-Article 7.
Of the Constitution.
Of the Constitution. So this is what happened to HH. Basically, what the DPP was saying is that there is no case here.
Right.
This shouldn't have been. So HH go home. But unfortunately, after spending 126 days inside, myself, I was lucky that I was bailed. I stayed at Kawata cells for 5 days and 1 day at Kamwala prison. So anyway, answering your question once again is that I am not free. And this is why I am
so
not
at any point you can be picked up?
I can be picked up.
Do you think there's a possibility that by the end of this show you might be picked up based on what you will have said? Considering that I just heard you speak a lot of words like nonsense, nonsense, nonsense.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. And you know what? But one thing is this, which I think many Zambians, we need to have this, all of us. You know, freedom or captivity is in two ways, okay, or two forms. There's captivity of your conscience, of yourself, where you have done something and you even know that I've done something. So even if somebody doesn't know that you have done something, but within yourself,
you're guilty.
You're guilty. So you are not free. You are a captor of yourself for what you have done. But there is also another kind of captivity where, you know, you have done something and it is known, and then you are put inside, or, so to say, the prison of wars. You know, you are restricted, you are in prison.
Right.
And that for me doesn't worry me. What worries me is the freedom of conscience. I want a freedom of my conscience. I'm not interested, I'm not bothered about the freedom of, you know, liberties.
So how's your conscience right now then?
My conscience is very good. It's so clear. And I wouldn't even mind if I went out, or even as I'm sitting here, they came and say, we are arresting you.
So you're not afraid?
Absolutely not, because I don't fear the prison of wars. I am not scared. What I fear is the imprisonment of my conscience, whereby I know that Master has done something wrong. And because I'm scared that if I tell Master that, Master, what you did yesterday was bad, he'll kick me out of this interview. Then I remain a conscience of a prisoner of my conscience.
I hear you. Now, before your case went to Magistrate Felix Kauma and led to this Nolle prosequi that you've elaborated very clearly and very well regarding which aspect was on you versus the one that in fact was dropped on HH's case.
Yes.
Let's draw back, and for people that would really need to appreciate the progress of what really happened from inception. Why were you picked up? Why were you arrested? Why were you even charged? What happened from inception, so that people can, in a very summative value, appreciate the story?
Yes. Basically, I mean, this goes back to the Mungu incidents. Okay? It goes back to the Mungu incidents where HH was arrested. And when I heard the news and I watched the video, which most of the people watched, I did analyze, I tried to talk to few people who were there and so on and so forth, and I came to a conclusion that, first of all, how did HH and his convoy find themselves on the road when the president was passing? Because clearly that was a ceremonial trip by the president. And when it is a ceremonial trip by the president, there should be no vehicles on the road. There should be no vehicles. But how is it that HH's convoy was on the road? And you can't put that mistake on HH. You can't. Because the police have a duty, they have a responsibility to make sure that they remove HH. If they had tried to remove HH and he refused, then we would falter HH. But from what I saw, those people didn't even know.
But I mean, they also state, I think, in these conversations that regardless, well, this is not really stated,
Yes.
this aspect, that regardless of what obligations may be on the book of the police,
Yes.
whoever is on the road
Yes.
and there's any form of emergency vehicle,
Yes.
inclusive one that carries the president,
Yes.
whoever is on the road must give way.
Absolutely.
Based on that,
Absolutely.
isn't that entourage in itself wrong to be there and not to give way to the president?
That is an argument. That is an argument which I wanted to have, in this. Anyway, it is where it is. I don't agree with the charge of treason. Yes, it is a traffic offense. What we are talking about, what you have just described, Chimbala, is a traffic offense.
Okay.
And a traffic offense is nothing near to treason.
All right. So you acknowledge that there's perhaps a possibility of a traffic offense, or?
Yes, there is a possibility, and I'm saying a possibility, not that it is there. A possibility. You need to, to unravel what really happened. How, because those vehicles were moving at a certain speed. And when you're moving as a convoy, if you're a driver, you don't just come out of the road. I mean, was the road okay and things like that. So these things need to be analyzed. So anyway, there is a possibility, but not anywhere near treason. And it is from that analysis, after I made consultation, whatever, I came up with a conclusion to say this was an inefficiency on the part of the police. And the police charging HH was covering up their inefficiency. This inefficiency of allowing these vehicles being there. And the police are represented by its leader, who is Kakoma Kanganja, the Inspector General. So if anything happens in the police, the number one person that you have to blame is the Inspector General. And I made that comment to say Kakoma Kanganja is covering up his inefficiency to charge HH with treason. Otherwise, he must be an accomplice. Why did I say he must be an accomplice? Because really there was a negligence there. And if there is negligence, it's like at your house. Like you are here. You have left a guard at your house, and you go back, you find that your house is stolen. The first suspect is who? Is your guard. Is your guard. He's the first person that you should ask. So before anyone should have been asked, before HH was asked, the first person that should have been asked is the police. Where were you? So that's why I said, otherwise Kakoma Kanganja should be an accomplice. Or maybe he wanted to kill the president. Maybe he himself, he was part of it. He planned it this way to say, well, let there be these vehicles and they will bash into it, because anything could have happened there, Or they wanted to frame HH. They deliberately allowed HH to be on the road and then come and overtake him and say, you have endangered the life of a president, which looks like more likely now. With what has transpired, it looks more likely that that thing was staged to put HH inside, have him, locked up for refusing to acknowledge President Edgar Lungu. This is how it looks like. And
but, I mean, if you talk about staging, who do you think would have orchestrated that drama? The staging?
The state. I would simply say the state. I can't pinpoint who. The state. But unfortunately, I cannot say, unfortunately, the president of this country was put in danger. Whoever could have been behind this staging, he endangered the president. And Chimbala, the President Edgar Lungu, is not a president for PF only. He's a president for PF, but he's a president for this country. He is my president, and I am a loyal citizen. I am a patriot of this country. And as such, I have got the responsibility and right to protect this country, including the presidency. So when I saw that, I was like, what? Our president was put in danger. And who put him in that danger? Kakoma Kanganja, the Inspector General of Police, together with his battalion, because he is the boss. He superintends, he controls, he approves.
If there was no charge on HH as high as treason, perhaps if they just slapped him with a traffic case, for whatever reasons, I hear he wasn't driving anyway, I don't know how these things work, but really, if there was a charge of traffic, would you have said what you've said all along regarding Kakoma Kanganja incompetence or inefficiency and so forth, would you have maintained that level of recommendation, I would say?
Thank you very much for that question, because I want people to understand that my issue was not so much the treason issue. My issue is incompetence, inefficiency. That is my issue.
Not just the charge.
No. I'm saying Kakoma Kanganja is covering his inefficiency. I have seen inefficiency. And to cover up that, that's when he brings up treason. So my issue is not so much treason. It's inefficiency in the police. And this inefficiency is seen in many other instances. For example, we have the issue of Muvi Teta, who was just acquitted together with his co-accused. Okay? Look at what happened there. These people were charged with aggravated robbery. Aggravated robbery, really? Such a huge, such a big offense was slapped on these people out of what I call, electro frenzy. You know, there was that it was during the time of elections, and everyone was whatever. So there is that frenzy, in everybody. There is that excitement, the mob. Yes. And they charged them with that. And these people, after spending 1 year inside, and they go without a case to answer.
By the way, did you comment anything in that time when Muvi Teta was behind bars?
No, I didn't.
Why were you waiting until you were the victim?
No.
Or perhaps culprit?
No. I didn't comment. I do respect our judiciary. And when I'm not sure, I don't comment. And I didn't comment because I was not sure. What I got mostly was hearsay. No, Muvi Teta, they went there and so on and so forth.
When did you become sure? And I'm just,
when the court was, through the court processes. So through the court processes, I saw how the state witnesses were just going all over and so on and so forth. And at the end of the day now, as I sit here, when I look at that case, I've even read the judgment, by the way, and I look at it and say, really, this shouldn't have even been. This shouldn't have even gone to court. So I didn't comment because I was not sure. When I'm not sure, I don't comment.
Right. You put that Facebook post,
yes,
as many do, and it's a laughable matter in a certain context that many of us, all of us, every human being has some things that they think that they can't say.
Yes.
Every human being.
Yes, absolutely.
Might be about their friends, their business partner.
Yes.
But now there's Facebook, so you can put stuff,
Yes.
and the likes. You did. It landed you behind bars for a bit, and you've had a case until now.
Yes.
People would want to know what happened. What was the next piece? You dropped this thing on Facebook. What happened next?
So I dropped this, of course. Out of my analysis, I dropped this. I expressed myself.
Yeah.
As I have explained. And next, it was quite unfortunate. I do remember that day very, very well. And it was very, very unfortunate. Schools are just closed. And I've got some other children that I have who are under my custody. And I brought them home, to come and spend a holiday with me. I just got them from their mother, and they arrived home. And I got a phone call that one of your street kids, because I also help out street kids, and the police officers at Northmead, they know me, because sometimes this street kid pinches something or whatever, and I go there like a parent. They don't have parents, so I assume that responsibility. And I went there only to find these police officers nicely dressed, waiting for me, and they say. They started asking me.
This
really
is at Northmead Police.
At Northmead Police.
And these are not the Northmead Police.
No. These are police officers, the intelligence police, so they call it.
Right.
So they went to Northmead. I don't know how they knew that Northmead is one of my familiar police posts. I even know the officer in charge there is my namesake. So he's the one that called me to say, Tayali, come here, there's one of your street kids whom we have in custody. And I rushed that side, leaving these two children in the house, only to find these nicely dressed police officers. And they started asking me very funny questions, really. And you could tell that these people are trying to fish something. Anyway, they got me, and we went to Northmead. It was a protracted kind of...
from where did they get you?
From Northmid
Police Post,
yes.
Or whatever it is. Yeah,
yes.
Post, I believe.
Yes.
And
Post.
where did they take you?
They took me now to Force Headquarters.
Okay, all right.
And from Force Headquarters, I moved from one office to the other, and they kept on, you know, you could see that really, it's like there were police officers, but excuse my, my description, but they were behaving like those criminals who have gotten, you know, a victim, and they don't know what to do with him. Should we kill him, or should we, you know? They kept on, they'll go outside, they'll come back, and so on and so forth.
But at this point, what had you been told? For you to be picked, more especially to accept to be picked, what had you been told?
They were fishing. They asked me so many questions.
No, I mean, why did you accept to follow them? What was the pronouncement? What was the declaration? About Chilufya, let's go where? What's the story?
They just told me, let's go inside the car. And in the car, you know, one was sitting this side, another one this side. I was in the middle, the other one in front. And off we left.
And what had they introduced themselves as? I want to really understand at which height you made your submission to them. Because they said they were police, they showed you IDs, or they
no,
said...
they never showed any IDs.
So what made you follow them?
Well, they called me in the police, and I could see that they were police officers.
Okay.
They could see. So, and immediately what they did, they got my phone. Immediately, they got my phone so that I don't communicate. It was more like an abduction. It was more like an abduction, and I was taken to Force Headquarters. No one knew until I pleaded with one of the police officers to say, no, I need at least to tell one person, you know, so I had to phone someone. Anyway, from there, at the end of the day, they showed me now that printout to say, did you post this? I said, yes, I did.
Around what time was this development?
It was now, we are talking about 15 hours, after 3 hours.
Okay, so this is afternoon, huh?
Yes,
okay.
Of useless interrogation, 3 hours. Anyway, at the end of the day, did you post this? I said, yes. And they jubilated like, you know, like I don't know, like it was jackpot. Like,
they celebrated?
Yes. Are you sure you are agreeing you posted this? Should we bring a camera and we record you? I said, yes, bring it. I posted it. They thought I would refuse because many people, you know, when they are posting on Facebook, on social media, they use pseudonyms and they want to run away. I stand for what I say. I stand for what I say because I believe in what I say. Otherwise, I don't say it. So I told them, yes, I posted it. So they said, but how could you post this? Then we are going to arrest you based on this. I said, go ahead, arrest me. They conducted an arrest, and after conducting an arrest, they asked me to say, are you guilty? I said, no. And all of them in that office, they bursted into laughter. Ah, we thought you were courageous. You are a coward. I said, what do you mean? I posted it, but I haven't committed a crime. So I'm not guilty for anything. So anyway, that's how they took me to Kabwata.
Okay, to the police station
to the police station at Kabwata.
Right.
Where I spent, you know, 5 days.
From then, immediately from then?
Yes, from then I was arrested on a Thursday. And on a Friday, ordinarily you would have expected that they would have given me a bond. But they didn't give me a bond. They even told me, no, tomorrow we'll give you a bond. They never gave me a bond. On Saturday, they came, these police officers, all they came is just to intimidate me. This police officer, one of these police officers was, because some police officers there, they put me in another room, you know, they respected me. So, you know, in that small cell, you, Chimbala, who is taller than me, I don't know if you can sleep this way. Otherwise, you know, your legs will reach the other side. But in that small room, you have an average every day of about 20-24 people. You sleep like, you know, packed up like that. So some of the police officers, I feel, you know, they respected me, they felt pity for me, they put me in the other room. You know, that was like on a Friday. I don't know how news went to Force Headquarters that no, he has been put in that room. The way they came, Baba.
Same Friday?
Yeah, on Saturday.
The next day?
Yeah. They came like bees. They were upset. They had to put, you know, some of the police officers there, some kind of punishment. They told them they must report themselves to Force Headquarters. You know, I was treated like a terrible criminal, you know.
So what happened when they found that you were actually in the separate room? Yeah,
that's when they put to task those police officers who were there on duty.
Did they leave you in the room? Or?
No. brought me back into where everybody was, which was okay for me because I really, I mean, I'm not any special. I'm not any special, so it was okay. I did interact with other people and so on and so forth, so it was okay. But for them, it was all about punishing. You see, it was all about punishing. And this is the point. The PF government, they are using the police to fix people. They are using the police to fix people. And people like Kakoma Kanganja, who are supposed to act as professionals, are not saying, no, sir, we can't do this. This person has got no case. Police cells are not meant for innocent people. Police cells are not meant for politicians. Police cells are not meant for somebody who has refused to accept you as a president. It's not a crime. It's not a crime. It's his right. He strongly believes that I don't want to recognize you. It's not a crime.
Except in this specific case, there is a complainant with a specific complaint, with specific evidence that, you know, there is what he believed, not that I should, you know, share a word and drop into somebody's mouth, but contextually speaking, there is a complainant with an issue citing to a Facebook page a thing you have agreed to having it done. I mean, not even debating the merits of the case, but that there is some case.
Yes, you know, there is somebody complaining.
In that manner. But I wanted to know, just, you know, to benefit from you, what was your experience in the 5 days in the police cells? I mean, you've explained up to Saturday when you had to be put back in the common room.
Look, our police cells are really appalling. It's a nightmare to be there. You know, like I've described, you know, first of all, the place is very small for so many people. Sometimes some people can't even sleep, even if you are, you know, someone is facing this side, and sometimes you can't just sleep. Most of the times I was not sleeping actually myself. I was usually just standing.
So what were you tambalalaling? Were you sitting, squatting, standing?
I was standing most of the times. I was standing. I would sleep maybe 2 hours, you know. I would wake up, you know, because it was just so difficult.
Were you able to talk?
You are more comfortable to stand.
Were you able to talk, converse with the people around?
Oh, yes, yes. I mean, you know, when you are in there, when you are in the police cells, you know, you are a community, and it doesn't matter what crime you committed. When you are there, you are a community. And I thank the people that came to see us, who brought us food. I mean, I really, you know, that's also another time when
Who are these people?
A lot of different people. Okay. You know, some people say I'm a one-man party, but I really thank our members of the party or supporters of the party who came to Kawata to bring food. We had so much food. Chimbala.
It was Christmas.
Throughout the time that we were there.
But I'm also alerted that you met officials of the UPND, cadres of the UPND.
Yes.
What's the story in there?
Yes, I was with 5 of them. 5 of them.
Inside?
Yes, 5 of them inside. I mean, they were badly beaten, you know, badly beaten. I mean, they were showing, because by that time their wounds were kind of fresh. You know, this man, Mr. Chakawa, the man who stayed with the HH, you know, I mean, the man was struggling, you know. I mean, they had beaten him. He spent a few days before you could stretch himself properly and so on and so forth. And you can imagine with that situation, and then you are in a crowded place, you know, no water, you know, the water is outside. So you go and relieve yourself, the toilet, which is inside there, and there's no water. So the smell is just something else. Thank you for the food, for people who brought us food. But unfortunately, some of our inmates, you know, they had an opportunity now to eat something. And, you know, when you eat a lot again, you have to go to the toilet. So a blessing on the other side, it becomes something. But anyway, our cells are not okay. And unfortunately, I can guarantee you, most of the people that were there, I do remember very well, the average age was 17. And ask me, what offenses? Offenses of debt. No, this one, I owed him so much, what? Total abuse. The majority of them, there were only about 3 or 4 people who, from my point of view, you know, had cases. But the rest of them, really, there are cases that they shouldn't have been there. One person was dealing with this Indian, and, you know, at some point, the business went bad, and he stayed in there. I found him there. I left him there. You can imagine. I even quarreled with this police officer who was the arresting officer one time when they came with this Indian, and this Indian is asking to say, hey, do you have goats? Do you have cows? Does your father have this? And the police officer is standing. I said, but why are you keeping this man here? And this man, we exchanged, bitter words. I was like, no, this is an abuse. But I left this guy there. Anyway, later on, he came out and he phoned me that he was out. But this is the problem which we have.
How many days were you at Kabwata?
I was there for 5 days.
Right. You said you had spent one night somewhere else, or?
At Kamwala Remand Prison.
What were the conditions for you having to be moved then? What transpired?
Well, that's when I was taken to court. I was only taken to court after 5 days. That's when I was taken to court. And after court, I applied for bail. And, as I was waiting for bail, even that, they had to play around to be funny and whatever. They just wanted me to sleep over. Anyway, I had an opportunity to sleep in Kamwala Remand Prison.
And in there you were with the masses? Yes,
I was with the masses. Again there, you have about 3 blocks. Basically, that place is supposed to take only about, I think about 80-something people. But believe you me, there are people, they reach 500. A place which is supposed to take about 80 people. But it swells to about 500. The time I was there, they were about 400 something, and I was asking, one of the, the chairman there, and he told me to say, no, but Tayali, I mean, sometimes we reach 500, and if you go in where they sleep, how they sleep, it's just something else. Again, if you interview most of the people that are in there, they are not supposed to be there. They are not supposed to be there. One of the reasons why I'm so upset, even with these knowledge, people like myself, people like HH, they're even privileged to get these knowledge. But poor people who are being taken in out of police abuse, they have no chance of knowledge. They have no chance of the media covering them. So they stay in there, and they stay in there just like that.
By the way, did you know that these people do exist, people that stay in behind bars in police cells of prison without access to the court?
I did.
Did you know that?
I did. I actually do visit, I do visit, mostly I do visit Chimbokaila. And I mean, at one point we even did a good program with Muvi TV. Muvi TV has been very supportive to some of, my works. So I do go to the prisons, and at one point we even advocated for this boy called Lamek Mwanza, who also found himself implicated with the aggravated robbery. And, we followed that case until he was, sentenced for 15 years.
Right.
He's now actually in Chipata. And we are trying to bring up that issue. So,
and why I ask Mr. Tayali is, you are a politician.
Yes.
And you have shared a strong passion to lead Zambia.
Yeah. And
you believe that you can take Zambia to a better place in many ways. And I believe through the justice system that you're now sharing needs change as well.
Yes.
And hence my asking, did you not know these challenges? And of course you've said yes. And shouldn't this have made very top cream agenda for your political career even before you become president of Zambia? No,
actually, I'm coming from the civil society, and like I'm saying, I mean, I have that to show. I mean, there are so many people that have intervened for, and some of the people that are actually been released on parole are people that have actually helped, to enlighten, their plight. So I've been very much involved, except that it's different, Chimbala, when you are outside. You go and visit these people and you sit with them. You discuss with them through those wires. It is another thing when you are
inside,
in there.
yeah?
So I thank God that I was in there, because at least now I don't just, have an idea of what it is like. I was there.
It's interesting. I'm hearing similar forms of gratitude from your side, from HH, from Mwaliteta, and the colleagues surrounding,
yes.
In this case, the trio, you and
yes.
them, elements of now we know. And I'm just, wondering what is the next course in defining not a manifesto for 2021, but your life agenda since you've decided to serve. And I believe service is not only in the office of presidency,
Absolutely. And you're right. What is the agenda?
Yeah.
I mean, like I've said, for me, this is not, it's something that I've been doing. I've always been involved in this kind of work. But now, we need to correct this situation now. And where my starting point is that man called Kakoma Kanganja must go. That is number one.
Is that part of the reason why you've rejected, not understanding yet whether you have the power to do so, that you've rejected the Nolle? Is that part of the reason why?
It's part of the reason, but mostly I would have been very happy. I would have been very, very happy to show to the public that this man, Kakoma Kanganja, is incompetent, is inefficient. I really wanted that, at least because some people think that, you know, I'm personal. You know, I'm personal. I've got no vendetta against anyone. I've got nothing. It is just that, you know, we have to be responsible of this country. We pay taxes. Those people, including the president, Edgar Lungu, is in South Africa today on our expense. You and I and the people watching this program have paid for him to be there. The people of Zambia bought that Mercedes-Benz. The people of Zambia pay Edgar Lungu. The people of Zambia pay all the ministers. Those big vehicles you see, they are at our expense. And we have a responsibility to make sure that these resources are used properly. If we are going to pay someone as Inspector General, he must serve us properly. Edgar Lungu, if he has to be in that office, he must serve us accordingly. People say, no, you insult the president. No. I have so much respect for the president. By the way, I'm aspiring to be his Wapongosh. So I've got respect for him. I've got respect for him.
You can't just say that and jump it. You know I will not allow you to go to the next sentence.
No,
clarify.
I don't want that to take away this interview. You know.
No, it won't go far. I mean, it's just a question of how many cows are you ready to pay, you know, kind of a thing. So it won't go far. If you can answer that question, we'll jump it.
No, but come on. We cannot be talking about cows for people who keep mice. I mean, come on, Shimbala, that doesn't go. This is why it is...
But I mean, seriously speaking, you're aspiring to be Edgar Lungu's Wapongoshi?
Well, if you say seriously speaking, I mean, I would pass that question to go back to say, I respect President Edgar Lungu very much. But from my point of view, Edgar Lungu is my president, is my servant. That's a fact. Whether he likes it or not, he's my servant. Whether people who are listening there don't like it, he's our servant because we are the ones that pay him. Yeah. And we have got the right to question his actions, his decisions.
Before I take you back to court, you know, let me you know, ask this. If there was one simple, straightforward thing that you would wish to achieve with the issue of IG, what is that one thing you'd want to see done about the IG issue right now? What is it that would please you the most?
What it would please me the most, what would please me the most is the police being professional.
All right. So if IG called and said, oh, from now onwards, we're professional, you would be okay? Is that the thing? Because I'm trying to think of the action.
Yeah, but you know that profession is a compound word. Eh?
I know.
It's a compound word. It involves the congestion that I'm talking about. You know, where police officers are picking people for having differed with a police officer. Differ with a police officer, he will take you in. There was a man there who had a wife, who had a child with a police officer. And he didn't pay 1 month, maintenance. Yeah. He was brought in. He was brought in. I know this man. So even that, so that is not being professional. And then political opponents, because Edgar Lungu, you know, doesn't like this person, Kakoma Kanganja rushes and gets this person. There is the recording which we played even in court, where Kakoma Kanganja is talking with Amos Chanda, and they're discussing GBM to say, no, he should stay in there. He shouldn't come out, and he's there. Yeah, no, that can't happen. That can't happen. And is that professionalism?
Let's invite SMSs and maybe take a break. And when we get back, Mr. Tayali, want to hear you were taking a lead in running your own defense in court, and want to hear a voice or two on that issue before you later on hired some of the most expensive lawyers in Zambia. We're here to see that. SMSs are coming through 3322, Yatami TAS, and leaving a space, typing your message and send to the number 3322. Let's take a break.
Daily exposure to different environments leads to a buildup of germs, oil, and dirt. These can cause blemishes and uneven skin tone. You need new Dettol Even Tone. It removes 99.9% of germs and is formulated to remove excess oil and dirt, helping to reduce the appearance of blemishes, giving your family the confidence of healthy, even-toned skin. For an even better you, new Dettol Even Tone. Dettol, be 100% sure.
If you want only the best, then visit Freshview Hotel in Siavonga. Not only does Freshview Hotel provide luxurious accommodation in a stunning and lush environment, it also provides conferencing with a view. Choose from either the boardroom with a 30-people capacity for your intimate meetings, or the boathouse with a 1,000 capacity center, the largest space available in Siavonga. Groups of 20 booked at the conference center benefit from a complimentary boat cruise courtesy of Freshview Hotel. Equipped with modern and state-of-the-art equipment, Freshview Hotel conference centers are ideal for all types of meetings, trainings, and workshop sessions with professional staff on hand and shuttle services available for participants. Remember, if you want luxury and great views for a holiday or conference, book your stay today with Freshview Hotel.
Welcome back to the assignment, still featuring Mr. Chilufya Tayali, the president of the Economic and Equity Party, sharing on his latest happenings, including the big one, Nolle prosequi that had just got attained, or is it evoked earlier, hours ago, if I may say.
Yes.
Yes. In court, you seem to prefer to stand for yourself, represent yourself in the, you know...
Yes, in matters. I mean, this is, I think this is the second case where I've had lawyers. And actually, when we started, I started it by myself.
Why?
You know, I believe in telling the truth as it is. And if I want to speak the truth, I mean, I don't need a lawyer. I can say it. I mean, of course, lawyers, you know, they have the legal mind and they can put things in a better perspective. But when you want to tell the truth, I mean, just say it. I believe in the truth. They say the truth shall set you free. So this is why I confidently go to court to say I'm going to tell the truth as I know it. If it is the truth, it is the truth. You know, but unfortunately, this time around, I felt that the court was not so friendly. The first day. I mean, I saw that, you know, I was trying to ask questions which to me were important, and I was being told to say, no, they're not, you know, sort of like...
And you're talking about the questions you were cross-examining?
Yes, I started the cross-examining of the
complainant.
Yes, the complainant, the witness. Yeah. The witness, and the court were not, they didn't look so friendly. And I think I would like to make an appeal that, you know, the courts should be friendly. Because, you know, some people may not have the money to hire lawyers. And actually, that is one of the things that I advocate for. You know, that is one of the things that I advocate for.
What do you mean the court was not friendly? Did you really want them to be your friends, or what are you talking about?
No.
You know?
Friendly is to say, is to understand, for example, you know, first of all, just let me put this in perspective that, number one, I want to tell the truth. Then number two, I want to stand with the poor. So some of the things that I do, it's not that maybe I cannot afford them myself, you know, but I want to stand with the poor. And so I do imagine to say, suppose a poor person had this case and he can't afford a lawyer, how would he defend himself? And I put myself in that position and I try to test the system, you know, or to advocate in a way. And we're talking about friendliness now. So what I mean is that, you know, the magistrate or the judge, they are human beings. They are not some robots. They are human beings. So there is supposed to be understanding, to listen to you. What is this person trying to say? Okay? If you are asking a question, what is it trying to put across? And be of assistance. Not to say, not to divert the point, but at least to be able to understand the person. But if you go to court, Chimbala, even, these days, you see some of these poor people, how they are prosecuted, you feel very bad. A lot of them go to prison for having done nothing, but because of the way the court is intimidating them.
But lucky for you, lawyers jumped in during the cross-examination.
So when I saw that this man might get away with murder, according to my point of view, I said, this man might get away with this case. That's when I went and mobilized those lawyers. I mobilized them, and thank you very much for all the lawyers that came in to help with this case. I really appreciate all of them. A lot of people are appreciating Keith Mwemba, but it was a team. It was a team. We were sitting at one point. We spent so many hours.
Did you hire this entire team?
Yes, I did.
What was the bill, by the way? How much did it cost you? I mean, we know these are prominent lawyers. The same lawyers, by the way, who are also dealing with the HH case, or cases, so to say.
Absolutely, absolutely.
How much is it?
I didn't. It was not a figure to say you're going to pay so much. What those lawyers told me to say, they told me to say, raise what you can raise. And I went around asking people to put in whatever they could. But mostly, I wouldn't say that those lawyers, I want to put it very clearly, that those lawyers are not doing most of these cases for the money as many people think, including in HH's case. I will tell you that. Including in HH's case, these lawyers are also putting their service for the good of this country, for justice. I really, really appreciate them, because I really know that these people are not making money as people are thinking. Out of my case, they didn't make money as much as people might think.
Right. At one point, the complainant in your case,
Yes.
too many terminologies in court, complainant becomes witness and so forth, but complainant in your case had indicated that why you were sued to court was to ensure that several would-be offenders who abuse social media would be deterred from doing so.
Yes.
Were you a culprit of abusing social media in this context?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That is part of his incompetence. Because if he's competent and capable, he would not say that. He was saying that on the court's ground, when the case is still going on. Now look at him. Who is laughing last? Because for him, it's him who started running away from court. Me, I was at court even today. Him, he didn't even show up. So who has been embarrassed in this matter?
I don't know, considering the fact that you just...
No, actually, not you to answer. I hope Kanganja is listening, and he can answer that.
While at the same time, I was going to drop back a question on you, that the same man you might be pointing at who might not be part of the last team to laugh is the custodian of those that ought to put you back in police cells if your case is reignited, isn't it?
Absolutely, and I would be very happy.
So in that context, who is really laughing or who's crying between the two of you?
No.
You get my question, though.
I do get your question. I'm still laughing. And even if I'm picked on that door,
you will laugh.
I'll go laughing. I'll go laughing. Because again, I will be, my word will still stand. Even if I'm picked from here, it will be inefficiency. Because what crime have I committed? I'm only expressing myself. And what I'm saying here is true. So if somebody arrests me for speaking the truth, it's him who is incompetent. It's him who is inefficient. So me, I'll still be laughing all the way. I mean, even today I went to Force Headquarters. I went today to the same office where they were treating me like nothing,
What were you looking for there?
I went to get my phone. Because they grabbed my phone, so I went to get my phone. And I went there and, and I told them, I said, do what you have to do. Like Jesus Christ, when, these people came to capture him, they said, hey, he said, do what you have to do. And from my point of view, as long as I've spoken the truth, I'll be laughing all the way. Even in my death, I'll be laughing.
Let's look at your moment now in the Nolle condition, if one may state. Are there other conditions attached to this Nolle prosequi that is worth knowing beyond what what you've just shared?
No,
earlier?
it's not really. The conditions are silent, so to say. It is just that, I mean, in a way, it is also like trying to tell you to say, behave. Because if you don't behave, we'll come back for you. You know? So you go there, be scared and everything. But come on, I'm not scared of anything. I'm not scared. And so for me, as far as I'm concerned, that Nolle, from my point of view, I mean, it is an acquittal, and I was acquitted even before I was arrested. Because I didn't do anything wrong. I only said the truth.
Did you send that post using that phone, or it was a different machine?
It's a phone that they have.
Or you haven't been given the phone?
No, I haven't gotten it yet. I haven't gotten it yet.
Right.
This is another phone that I got, during this time.
Okay. Would you still make that post again? Because I hear you say this, and I hear you talk about resignation of IG. I hear you say that this entire thing is nonsense. Would you still make that post on Facebook again?
I'll do more. I'll do more.
Tell me about it.
For the truth, I'll do more. Like I have said that this issue, from my point of view, I'm not done with the Inspector General of Police. He must go. And I'll do more. I'll post more, and I'll do more. I intend actually to do a protest. To do a protest on Tuesday in the morning. I want to walk from Freedom Statue to Force Headquarters, demanding for Kanganja to go.
Will you get police permission to do that?
I've got the right to protest, and I'm going to do it alone. So I don't need, I'll be walking. Do you need a permit to walk from here to Parliament? I'll be walking. I'll just be walking. And I will have...
Are you planning to carry any placards and things like that?
Yes, just like you have, just like you have that badge of yours on that jacket. Yeah. So, except that mine will be bigger. And I walk. I want to walk from Freedom Statue to Force Headquarters. Demanding
to Kanganja's office.
Demanding that
Kanganja,
yes, that he should go. I'll be demanding for two things. One, I'll be demanding that Kanganja should go. Number two, I'll be demanding that Commissioner Siandenge is this man who has been criminalized. He's on high alert, and the police have even put 100,000 that if you help us arrest this man, we'll give you 100,000. But this man was supposed to be jointly charged together with Mwalitet, and Mwalitet has been acquitted. So why should we keep this man, on alert?
So what do you want police to do about that?
They should decriminalize him. They should come up with a statement and say this man is free, because they have crucified him in the eyes of the public by coming out publicly and say anyone who arrests Siandenge will be given 100,000 kwacha. That is bad. This is a citizen of this country. He's supposed to enjoy the freedoms that you and I are enjoying, which the freedoms that Kanganja is enjoying.
Tell me about Chilufya. When you are doing your protest, of course not at the Tuesday, the entire episode of you protesting against this entire thing you are protesting against, are you telling the employer of Inspector General Kanganja to fire him, or are you telling Inspector General Kanganja to resign, or what circumstances are you looking for?
It's good that you asked that question. It's good that you asked that question, and I hope that those in offices, I'm not insulting you, those in offices are as intelligent as you are. Basically, I'm talking to the boss. I'm talking to the boss because Kanganja is there out of the appointment of someone, which someone I've said that is a mediocre. I've said it. President Edgar Lungu is a mediocre. Is actually the problem why we have people like Kanganja. Of course, some other appointments are very good. I mean, I'm happy with some of the appointments that he has done. But this appointment is bad, and most of his appointments are bad. Are bad. And if this man was serious, this Kanganja would not have lived a day after the Mungu issue. He should have been fired straight away.
But so do you assert this word, mediocre, on the president of this country?
I have written before, and I have written, he is a mediocre. And if they want to arrest me again on that one, they can arrest me, and I can point out why I say the president is a mediocre.
And why I'm asking this is I'm trying to understand. Are you describing that the president in his entirety is a mediocre human being in whatever sense?
Not a human being, but as a president. So this is not personal.
This is professionally speaking.
Yeah, as a president.
But I wanted to understand whether this is in specific regard to the fact that Inspector General Kakoma Kanganja is still employed.
It's one of the reasons. And I can give you some.
So the mediocrity goes beyond that appointment?
It goes beyond that. Of course, you can't tell a person to be a mediocre over one issue. It's a number of issues. And I can tell you that. I can count through, some of these issues which I say, this man is a mediocre. You know? For example, we had the issue of the ministers. Okay? The issue of the ministers. He was there. No, you people, you don't read, and so on and so forth. We went to, Lars went to court, and they won that. What has happened? Up to today, these ministers have not paid back the money, and the case is still lingering around in court. A man who is decisive, a man who is efficient, like touch and go like myself, the moment that happened, you would have said, guys, I made a mistake, can you pay back? And they would have paid back. We have people who have been talking about corruption. And I'm actually going in court on the 25th of next month with Given Rubinda, who is the Justice Minister. I've been talking about corruption. And no one gets fired out for corruption. We bring out overwhelming evidence. Look, 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 look. He doesn't look at it.
One would ask, you used to be a darling of the Patriotic Front,
yes,
Mr. Tayali, a beloved who roamed Facebook and other platforms to speak good of President Edgar Lungu. No. Today you have turned him a bad egg. What transpired?
Very good. Chimbala, the good question, the simple analogy I would give you is just like yourself. You have been around Muvi for quite some time. But the first day, there was a first day that you came in and somebody looked at you to say, this guy speaks good English, he has got a good voice, and so on and so forth. And they gave you a chance. If you didn't perform to their satisfaction, you wouldn't be interviewing me today. You wouldn't be interviewing them, you wouldn't be interviewing me today. And if tomorrow you become a mediocre, they will kick you out of here.
Are you saying President Edgar Lungu has turned into a mediocre within a year?
Absolutely. And you know what? The first time when he came in 2015, I was complaining, and some people said, no, you give him time, he can't rock the boat, he has got only 1 year, 6 months, he's going to the elections. So I said, yeah, I think these guys are right, so let's give him a chance. And I was expecting him that after getting this second mandate, he would have that authority. He would be like a touch and go, like I want to be. But unfortunately, this man is still lukewarm.
Then I wonder if there's any leader who's worth the name leader in your name, in your analysis.
You're looking at one.
Well, that is a story yet to be sold. I didn't...
You're looking at one. I'm telling you,
Mr.
I wouldn't
Tayali.
take all these kind of things which are going. I wouldn't take it.
I'm just thinking of your own analysis of, your analysis of others, as it were, with Edgar Lungu. I do remember that over a year ago, you had no kind words for HH himself, Hakainde Hichilema.
And you know what?
You found the man, you had your own critical words against him.
Yes.
And
so
I'm
for the record, I still have them.
You still do?
Yes.
And I'm seeing this temperature of momentum of saying ills in the others.
No, I also see good. I see good, and when I see good, I commend it. I was just commending, President Edgar Lungu for releasing HH, for listening. Yes, it was bad that he was put inside, but by the fact that they have rescinded, they have corrected this, they need to be appreciated. So for me, I criticize, but I also commend. And even even myself personally, there are some times when I do good things, but sometimes I do wrong things. And when I do wrong, I do come up and I own up to say, I'm sorry. I was just apologizing the other day for something that I said and whatever. I do own up. Because that's human nature. Human nature, there is no one who is completely good. and there's no one who's completely bad. And we need to look at both sides.
We have a little time, Mr. Tayali, and just your last words. There are many who say your political party is a briefcase political party, is a Facebook political party, and all you do is making noise. Yeah. I don't know what words you'd have for that, but in capturing this question, let me say, what is your way forward under all circumstances in this question in regard, just in a few seconds?
Look, basically, to those that think that our political party is a briefcase party, first of all, to register a political party, there must be a number of people. So definitely, for our party to be registered officially, there are some people who are with me. Okay, they believe in this political party. Otherwise, it wouldn't be there. But besides that, I have a number of followers. And our party is only about 4 months old. So we are in that process of trying to grow. But by the very fact that people are discussing it, by the very fact that they are saying one-man party, one-man party, one-man party, they are affirming that this party is, and this party is touch and go. Come 2021, it will be our time.
President Chilufya Tayali and Economic and Equity Party. That's Economic and Equity Party, EEP.
EEP.
Right, 2021, 11th of August, it's happening. The
we won't have people like the Kanganjas, no ways. And we want new people, not Abena Cambodia. New people should come.
You are already sending away
No, we don't want. All these old politicians must go. I'm inviting new blood to come into politics. I want you to come and join us.
No, I think me and the Zambians are very happy on this platform.
I
have to hold you accountable through the media.
That would be very good.
Yeah, so we're playing our role, as long as you don't imprison us for doing a good job.
No, not at all. We'll be professional. There will be a very good IG there.
President of Economic and Equity Party, and of course sharing all those issues. Thanks a great deal for joining us. Be blessed and good night. Bye-bye. Sir.